And welcome to today's coaching clinic. Great to see you. I know this topic will resonate with a lot of people. We're talking about and exploring taking the weight of your body off your mind. But this really applies to a lot of things, not just the weight of your body. You might have the weight of a financial concern or the weight of a family member always leaning on you. You might have some other sort of weight, but I wanted to speak specifically today in today's clinic about things relating to body, health, weight, and image. And just how that subject can get very weighty for a lot of us. So to start us off, let's do a lovely grounding exercise meditation so you can really fully receive what I'm going to share. And we will finish. I'm going to do the coaching clinics around 50 minutes, okay? 60 at a max, but 50 in general. So we'll finish at 10 to the hour today, unless we have somehow run out of questions or there's nothing more to say. Then we'll finish earlier. So let's just close our eyes here and just plant your feet on the ground and begin to take some lovely breaths in through the nose and out. Letting yourself come into this clinic now. In through the nose and out. Just really letting yourself be here. I'm just going to mute everybody's line. And as you're taking those lovely breaths, just begin to feel yourself falling back into the chair, into the bed, into the sofa, into the space, letting all your muscles relax in through the nose and out through the nose or the mouth. Letting yourself be here in this moment, completely present, getting ready to take the weight off your body and anything else off your mind. Now I want you to visualize roots coming from your feet down through the ground, down into the underground and right down to that rock at the bottom of the earth, and wrap those roots around that rock. See golden light emanating from that rock up through the roots, through the ground, through the underground, through the floorboards and into your feet. And in your own way, with your own intention, see that golden light move through every cell of your body, every part of your body. Move the light all the way up until it reaches above the head. Take your time. And now see this whole beautiful elixir of golden light enveloping your being, your body, every cell. And in your mind's eye, if your body or your image or your health is something that you desire to see or experience differently, then just visualize now your whole self at the weight or in the physical health, or in the fitness, or in the clothes that you are desiring. So just get an image of yourself. If you're getting a sense of, oh yeah, right, that's not possible, I'm going to encourage you to go for an image that it does feel reasonably possible. Go for a feeling that doesn't seem so out of reach for you. And see yourself in that experience now. A future self, if you like. Healthy, whole, complete, and radiant. Send golden light from the image and state you're in now to that image and state you will be in. Send the golden light to that future self. And placing your hand on your heart, either mentally or physically, go for wisdom's guidance using this question. Where do I start? If you didn't get an answer, I encourage you to ask this question again before you sleep tonight. We have a full moon in Virgo, the sign of purification, cleansing, and all of that. So invite an answer in your dream state or upon awakening. Ultimately, we all know where we need to start, where we need to pull back a little, where we need to add a little. We all know. But depending on what floor of the elevator of consciousness we're on, we might be bumping up against resistance, a lack of readiness, a desire, but a desire that's really not in alignment with the soul. It's just because you think you have to do it. So we want all that to fall away now and to just keep an image of your healthy, vital body and self. If there's any discomfort or physical pain in your body lately, or anything that you're just not 100% around, send the golden light to that place now. And give yourself permission to just be completely at ease, completely in gratitude for the physical body and vitality that you currently experience. The miracle of the breath that you don't have to pay attention to in order for it to work. The miracle of your digestive system that you don't have to keep your attention on full time to make sure everything is doing its job. The miracle of your body and how it processes everything without you keeping a check. So if you can, just feel the miracle of the physical body. This instrument that you can shape and play with and use and love and embody, whichever way you choose. Always knowing that in a quieter state of mind, we're less likely to overload the body with more than it needs. That in a quieter state of mind, we're wired back into our well-being and we naturally exude health and go for health. And that in a quieter state of mind, our physical symptoms can often clear up miraculously. One thought away from total ease. Now, again, just coming back to the physical body, moving your fingertips a little, your toes a little. Embodied by this healing light, clarity of your future self as well. See roots coming from your feet down through the floorboards, down into the ground, down into the underground, and right down to that rock at the bottom of the earth. And wrap those roots around that rock. Feeling so grateful. Whatever level of health, whatever level of fitness, whatever level of weight you currently are. And coming into the clinic now, just opening your eyes. At ease and relaxed. You might find yourself yawning, clearing, settling down. So what I want to share on this topic just follows on from what I've just said, that in a quieter state of mind, you might find that symptoms clear up and that habits that aren't particularly healthy get less or fall away. You might find that in a very noisy state of mind, in a revved up state of mind, you get into a lot of worry about your health, about your symptoms, about your weight. One of the most helpful things I've learned is to realize that when I'm going down the rabbit hole of what weight I am, how I look, which diet I should do, I've really come to see now that that is symptomatic of a busy mind. That when our mind gets really busy and revved up, we get hooked by where we are most insecure. Some people get hooked on the money. Some people get hooked on the relationship. Some people get hooked on the body. And sometimes the hook just keeps changing. So you might find you get hooked on a bit of everything. When you're coming from a place of alignment for change within your body or anything in your world, you will find yourself being curious about change. You will find yourself being drawn to or called to things that support the change you're looking for. That is very different to obsessing and constantly carrying on your mind a worry about the situation. So you want to become discerning with, where am I coming from when I want to be healthier or lighter or look differently or earn more or experience love? Am I coming from a feeling of being drawn in that direction? Or am I coming from a feeling of dissatisfaction, and until I get that, I just won't rest, and I'm going to carry it in my mind all day, every day? Because when we're coming from alignment, our changes are easy to make. Taking the weight of our body off our mind actually helps us lose weight. I mean, it's so innocent, that we've learned as humans that the more we think about something, then the more it's going to work. Well, that's not true. Because if you're carrying a lot of thinking about your weight, about your body, about your bank account, you're actually carrying stress. And so with that stress, what we tend to do is we get revved up and we get intent on something, and we get this way and that way, and we can't stick to anything. We might begin our healthy changes only to find ourselves not sticking to it. And the reason for that is because wisdom will always try and settle you back down. That's what habits and addictions are. Wisdom's way of inviting you to quieten down. So in a revved up mind, of course, the habit of eating more food, not being present to what's in front of us, or drinking more wine, or, I don't know, smoking the cigarettes, whatever, in a revved up mind, that's going to, in some way, settle you down. Because on some level, we've decided, this is the thing that I need to do. This is the thing that works the best. That's still wisdom. That's your wisdom has found a way to very quickly try and bring you back to center. So some of you are saying, what do you mean, Grace? So when I'm eating bars of chocolate, that's me coming back to center? Well, yes, actually. Because the reason that you're eating like that, or drinking like that, or smoking like that, or even exercising like that, is because on some level, that's the thing that settles your mind for a moment. And then Bob comes in and starts judging you for all of the drinking and eating and whatever you've been doing. And he then kicks off, and a cycle begins where you're then back into a revved up mind. So innocent. But what if you were to trust that whatever you're reaching for is just symptomatic of a mind that's gotten too fast and too busy. And reaching for that thing that your body needs or doesn't need more of is totally fine. But in your recognizing that your mind is revved up, you get to make a different choice. You need less of the substance that you know is causing some issues for you or keeping the weight on or whatever. So whether you're taking the weight of your body off your mind, or you're taking the weight of money off your mind, or you're taking the weight of love off your mind, really what you're doing is you're taking the weight of worrying and overthinking off your mind. And as we do that, we get healthier. We have less chronic stress going on. We are lighter in our being. And from that place, we do make different choices. And we do need less of the substance that we tend to reach for in a busy mind. But the next time you're reaching for that, go ahead and reach for it and make a pact with yourself. You're going to enjoy it. Because it's the judgment that sets in and the worry that sets in that then leaves you with a mind that's full. And that in turn just makes the changes you're trying to make a lot harder. What are you hearing in this? What questions do you have, or what comments come? Pat, yes, please.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying and I can go with it. Yeah. What about, I notice sometimes, but I'm not sure if I can, if this is already a busy mind. So something might have been unsettling me. My mind might have been very crazy. And then sometimes I can get still and I can feel real joy and happiness. But I will still reach for the things that I say I think aren't that great for me. So like Diet Coke, the crisps and the chocolate. It's like I can be in a real happy state and want that. Mm-hmm. How does that? And now I'm not judging it, but I suppose I'm asking, is that wrong? Is that, I don't know where that fits in. I can understand when I'm in a busy mind and I want something to sort of relax me and calm down. But when I'm already in a wonderful space, why do I do that?
Well, do you enjoy what you're doing?
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
I enjoy it, but in the back of my mind, I know that some of it isn't really doing me that good. That's the thing where I'm a bit stuck. Things are changing. My mind is quietening. I'm not fighting over what I'm eating. I'm eating, I think I'm answering my own question. I'm eating what I want and enjoying it. And I think this is, I'm feeling it now. I think the serum's put in now because I've put out my desire for a healthy body. And I like it's funny, what you all did was what I'm at the moment. So I wonder if, yeah, the serum's in, and as I noticed with the driving, it will, no, the serum's in, and I think that's why I'm not beating myself up with the foods that I feel aren't that great for me, because I just get a feeling that when it makes sense, it will calm down. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Does it make sense to you? Did you see something fresh?
Yeah, yeah, but I'm still I'm still caught in the foods that I'm eating that I'm not sure if they're actually making me unwell. I've got a little bit of a.
Well, there's a part of us that wants to change, and we have to be very patient with ourselves. So just because the serum's in and the elevator of consciousness has jumped up a few levels, and we're not, let's say, what we might notice is when we used to go for like 3 Diet Cokes, we're going for 1. Like all of that stuff, it's like your habits fall away in their own time as you go up the elevator of consciousness. And it's almost like I hear an expectation that you shouldn't be doing what you're doing because you know better at this stage.
Yeah, it's silly because that is there. That's maybe the bit of Bob. But with the course we just done, everything, I know the serum's in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I am actually more patient than I've ever been in my life with doing something like that. I suppose I'm still a little bit mixed up about reaching for it when I'm in, there's just some things that haven't maybe
well, if you're reaching for things from a place of enjoyment, you're in alignment. If you're reaching for things from a place of I shouldn't be doing this, that's going to have a different effect on you.
Yeah, I think it's that I am reaching in alignment more than I was before. And
that's
more, that's it. I wasn't sure if it's that thing, like, is that right? Is that okay? That sort of sense of, oh, this is a bit strange, to be okay with it.
Yeah, because the whole world will tell you not to be. But when you begin to see that your experience is created from the inside out, that the Coke and the Diet Coke or the chocolate bars or whatever have nothing to do with your experience. Your state of mind will always determine the outcome of eating and drinking those things. I noticed when I first started to get a really quiet mind, I had booked to go out for dinner and drinks. And I just noticed that in this really quiet mind, the drinks had absolutely zero effect on me. That was new for me. I really was convinced that the drinks, the alcohol, the cocktails, the whatever, were where my feeling was coming from. In that really quiet state, I noticed I didn't need to overindulge, but I also noticed that there was a completely different effect than when I'm having alcohol from a very revved up space. So you want to just start to see, oh, it's okay if I'm choosing from this place. But depending on your state of mind, that will be the outcome of your experience of the Coke and the bars and the this and the that. Now, the world will tell you differently. The world will tell you all of that's bad for you and it's causing inflammation and it's doing this and it's doing that. And over time, consistently, that could be true if you keep beating yourself up about that. If your judgment reduces, I can guarantee you that your experience of what your habits will not have the same impact on your physical body. And you'll also just find yourself just reaching for it maybe a bit less.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That was great direction to take us in. So we want to know when we're going down the rabbit hole of thought, You know, we want to know when we're actually going down there and things are getting a bit crazy for us. I see a comment coming in, but I'm trying to read it. 1 second. Something's happened here. Okay. Stephanie, I'm noticing that I reach for things to bring me up into a more energetic place, like caffeine, since my mind feels slow and energy is often so low dealing with my current health situation. It's like need to do right now. I'm sensing that I have judgment around being mellow, like only energetic people are attractive and desirable to be around. Well, that's a huge thing to see, Stephanie. Like, who made that up? You see how we have a rule about how we should be in the world, what's attractive and desirable. Again, it's okay. Wisdom's bringing you ways to feel more energetic. Caffeine happens to be one of those things that, like, I go for that too, because apparently it raises the blood pressure. And I can kind of be in a sort of a spacey low blood pressure experience, not realizing it. That's wisdom. Drink a cup of coffee is wisdom. Like, you don't have to worry about yourself. But how cool, Stephanie, that you can see there's a made up, there's learned thinking that being more energetic is somehow more desirable and attractive to be around. I have some friends, they're very energetic and they're very high energy. And I have found that the more I've been living in a quieter mind, the less I'm able to tolerate their franticness. That's a sign of health. So we want to kind of just question our learned thinking. Who made that up? And when we're feeling really low energetically, again, we don't want to be in judgment about that. And that's what I mean about taking the weight of your body off your mind, taking the weight of anything off your mind. The weight is the judgment. The heaviness is the constant chatter about who you should be and how you should be and where your physical body should be by now. That's all basically, how am I measuring up to some idea that I've been told I'm supposed to be like? The more we live in gratitude, again, which is coming from that quieter space inside, the more we live in gratitude for the magnificence of the body we have now, with its symptoms and all, the more we just find ourselves going in the direction of even more vitality and health. Thank you for bringing that up, Stephanie, because it's true. It's true, that piece about feeling low energetically versus high and going for things that try to pick us up. So I'm just having a little problem with my chat box. I'm trying to get in here. 1 sec. I can see Lynn has written in. Just don't know why I can't see it. Lynn, did you want to come on? If not, it's okay.
Yeah, sure. I was just saying.
Thanks. I can't see.
Yeah, just reading what Stephanie wrote, and I smiled when I read it, because I'm just quite the opposite of that, a complete opposite. Like, I thrive on mellow and being chilled and moving slow, and I think it's because being that way, I find myself more present to every moment.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So you see how two people can be having two completely different experiences. based on thought. One has thinking that mellow is present and easy and enjoyable, and one has thinking that it's more attractive to be fast paced and more energetic. Like, we want to just notice where we get caught in our ideas about ourselves. It's all made up. But I love that you brought in the word present, Lynn, you know, presence. If there's one thing you want to do to encourage vitality, health, perfect weight for you and perfect direction for your body, it's becoming present.
Mm-hmm.
In presence, we savor every bite. We enjoy every sip. We get to engage everything. Everything's richer in presence, which means we find ourselves in that experience of less is more. So thank you for bringing that powerful word forward. There's a Bob on my street out here going crazy. I don't know if you can hear him. He's shouting in Italian at somebody. Just gonna wait for him to go past. Okay, he's chasing somebody. There's a serious Bob out there. So a couple of tips that I've learned living in Italy, apart from the fact that they just don't care about shouting left, right, and center. It's great, you know. There's not a self-consciousness about screaming in the street at one another. A couple of things that I have learned living here that have helped me, you know, because I've been looking in the direction of, from a curious state, not an insecure state like I used to, but a curious state of what's right for my body. Like what feels good, what works, what doesn't work. And we do get to an age where we know ourselves a bit better and we know what works for us and what doesn't. And in any given moment, we have choice. But one of the things I love about the Southern Italian Mediterranean lifestyle is that level of presence that they bring to eating and drinking. You know, a couple of things are different here that may or may not inspire you in some direction. It doesn't have to, but because lunch is the main meal of the day, is a bigger meal, there's not all this snacking that goes on in you know, in other cultures where you have maybe a quick sandwich and then, you know, you're hungry again within 2 hours or 3 hours, or, you know, there's a kind of a sitting down and being present to what's in front of you. That then means that you are satisfied. That you are satisfied to a degree that you're not reaching for the fast stuff. Southern Italy has taught me the beauty of slow living and slow cooking. But I can tell you there's been many experiences when my mind has been so revved up that I may as well have been living in New York City because my experience was anything but slow. But the beauty of the traditions of Southern Italian diet and lifestyle is that, you know, you sit down to eat and you cook your food. And if you are having something quick because maybe you are doing that, you know, that working thing, or you're doing whatever a lot of the time in the afternoon, you know, not everybody gets to have siesta. Well, even if it's something quick, you're sitting down for it and you're savoring it. There's a level of presence that's brought. Another thing I find really helpful is that the general rule of thumb, and it doesn't have to be adhered to by everyone. I'm experimenting with it. It's working for me. I'm enjoying it after having a lot of, issues with my stomach, which we've discovered is part of the stress response, and still dealing with the stress and of loss. There I was going down the complete rabbit hole of what foods should I be eating and not be eating, only to discover by the doctor, this isn't about diet, Grace. Duh, like I got duped again, Bob took over. But one of the things that I find helpful for me personally with this stomach issue that I've been experiencing was to follow the rule of thumb in Southern Italy, which is have your carbohydrates at lunchtime and have your protein and vegetable in the evening without extra carbohydrates. Now that suits me, because guess what? I didn't know this. Wine is a carbohydrate. And I ain't given up my wine in the evening. Even in a happy, good state of mind, it's my passion. So it has really helped me to follow that rule of thumb, carbohydrates at lunchtime and protein and vegetables in the evening. Now, there's a million different diets out there that you can do and not do, but really, so the Southern Italian way is to have a small breakfast, to have pasta or rice at lunchtime with some form of protein. So maybe that's like a second dish of something like a ricotta cheese, or maybe it's a bit of salami, or maybe it's a piece of salmon, or maybe within the pasta there's already protein in there, like there could be pasta bolognese already has mince in there, tomato sauce, so that's like the heavier piece is at lunchtime, carbohydrate and usually a protein. And then in the evening, it's the protein and the vegetables. So a piece of fish here is huge. It's the main source of protein where I live. So fish and vegetables, fish and salad. There's a million different things. If you're really curious about certain things, reach out to me and I can share with you, what some of the Southern Italian recipes and foods are. But there's a level of presence they bring to eating that I just noticed in my own culture coming from Ireland isn't there. There's a level of taking the time to think about what they're going to eat in advance and preparing it from scratch. Like cooking becomes a ritual and a sort of a self-love engagement. And you don't need hours to do this, by the way. Like, I'm not inviting you to become like Francesca's grandmother and get up at 6 a.m. and put the sauce on for 12 hours. Right? Or 6 hours. I'm not inviting you to do that. I'm just inviting you to consider that there are ways to bring pleasure to your plate, including adding lots of color, including trying new recipes. And most of all, as you become present, you'll just find yourself curious about other ways to take care of your physical body. The reason Italians don't need a cappuccino after lunch is because they've satiated the body sufficiently enough at lunchtime that they don't need to be pouring in milk and coffee. That's for the morning as far as they're concerned. Now, one of my favorite rituals, as you all know, is the aperitivo. I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. Today, Celestino and I had aperitivo at 12:30. We were sitting in the sun. We had a small glass of wine and we had some nuts and some olives, and it was delightful. That was pre-lunch. There's a lot of eating goes on, but there's not the same level of what I might describe as concerns, health concerns. And part of that is, I think they follow tradition, and it doesn't involve overloading the system because they're satiated enough in their breakfast, in their lunch, and in their evening meal. So I just thought I'd put that forward today because we're talking about taking the weight of our body off our mind, which is, you know, a fun subject. You find your way, but here's what I want to leave you with. It's not about thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking about your body or your health or your symptoms. And it's definitely not about going down the rabbit hole of which diet and what should I be eating and not eating and what should I do. Like, once you notice you're in that, the stress response has been activated. So that's your invitation to just quieten down. And as you come to a place of curiosity about making changes, when you come to a place of curiosity about what helps your body function best, when you come to a place of curiosity about exercise or health or well-being, that's the place to look from. Because from that place, don't forget, you can ask your spiritual team as well, show me what's best for my body. When you come from that place and you come from presence, you're well, you're vital. The weight of your body isn't on your mind when you're present. When you're fully engaged in something you love, I can guarantee you the weight of your body, the weight of money, the weight of anything is not on your mind in that moment. Lynn, I think you've asked me a question saying, curious what Italians eat for breakfast. Is that right? Well, you're not going to believe this, but they eat cookies and coffee. They eat cappuccino and croissants. I'm not kidding you. So, like, I was amazed. They don't have some of them have like diets going on where they're very rigid and they're having just cereal or just this or just that. But the majority of Italians that I know and some of my supermodel friends, I mean, that's just the typical breakfast is typically sweet and pretty much stuff that people would say you shouldn't eat that. But again, eating with presence, eating something they enjoy, not eating 10 of them, eating one of them, knowing that lunchtime is going to come pretty soon. They need to have a little bit of room for what's coming then. So I hope this has been helpful and fun today. You know, reach out, let me hear your questions, let me know what you're up to, what you think of this subject. And I just want to make a quick announcement that if you're not already with myself and Dominic Scafidi, we're opening the doors to Living Miraculously this spring. Next month we start. And the miracle of your body, the miracle of vitality and health is one of the key subjects within our course. So I'm going to send here on the chat box the link to the course. The doors are open now. We're already 50% full, believe it or not, because most of the participants from the last round are coming into this one. And you get an early bird offer using that link that I've just sent you there. So if you want to see more miracles within your health, your vitality, your body, all of that, come and join us for that incredible exploration. You'll be amazed at what occurs and how miraculous things begin to appear in your life after doing that exploration with us. So I'll speak to you all in 2 weeks' time for our next coaching clinic, every second week, remember. And thank you for being here. Thank you for your lovely questions and presence. Lots of love. Bye.